everyone, and welcome to Booming Encore's Check This Out. My name is Susan Williams, and I'm the founder of Booming Encore. And today I'm delighted to welcome Mike Drak. Say hi, Mike.
Hi.
And friends, because we're going to be actually talking about Longevity Lifestyle by Design. So this was a book that was written by Mike Drak and friends. And what we wanted to do today was introduce you to these friends so that you can actually, one, get to meet them, and two, hear from them directly what they think about this book. And the reason why we're so excited about this book is that you can actually download a copy today for free. That's right, underline free. I feel like a bit of an infomercial here, but it's such a valuable book. We just want to make sure we get it into as many people's hands as possible. So to start us off, I'm really pleased to introduce you to Lori Becker. Lori is a retirement coach. And Lori, what do you have to say about this book?
Hi, I'm really thrilled about this book, just kind of as a little bit of history. I transitioned out of corporate America a couple of years ago, and a book that really was influential for me in how I approached my next chapter here was Mike's book, Retirement in Heaven or Hell. There really were a number of really aha moments in that for me that really spoke to me. The information was really great, but what else I did was I worked with a coach to help me do my longevity lifestyle planning. And that was really, really beneficial for me. I don't know that I could have done it without it. So I'm really excited about this book in addition to the fabulous information that you're going to get from everyone else here, is talking about how a retirement coach may be beneficial for you as you consider all of the information and how you're going to move forward. So really excited about the book.
Great, thanks, Lori. Now we're going to hand the baton over to Simon Chan. Simon?
Thanks. Yeah, this is a really interesting book from my perspective because of the background that I have. I've spent the last 20 years in the retirement investment space. And we spent a lot of time helping people with their financial aspect of retirement, how much do you need to save, et cetera. But we really never spent a lot of time on the non-financial aspect, which I thought was interesting. And I met Mike, Smiling Mike over there about 5-6 years ago, read his book, Victory Lap Retirement. And it really shifted my perspective on how we need to think about retirement as more of a journey, as a beginning, as a place of a starting line versus a finish line. So I really think this is an amazing book to complement all the other books out there around the financial side of things. This is the one that'll help you think about it from more of a design perspective. I also had the opportunity to write a chapter in the book. As someone who's a Gen X, I think that this changing nature of retirement, thinking about longevity, et cetera, is really going to transform how people live in the future for future generations. And so I think it's a really interesting way of thinking about our overall life journey and whether we're playing by the old rules of the game of life or whether we're playing by the new rules of the game of life. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Scott, who's going to talk a little bit more about his perspective.
Thanks, Simon. Scott Fulton here. I get to teach both health and home at the university, and Mike approached me a while back to see if we'd have some fun together, and I jumped at it because I knew that the work that he was doing is really important. It really fills a gap, I think, in the market around what I view as more intentional and holistic view of how do you succeed in retirement years, whether retirement is going to the office or your home office every day, or it's going to the golf course. It's a phase of life that we generally get very little help in preparing for other than finances. So it's a huge gap, which means there's a tremendous opportunity. There's an opportunity to enjoy healthy years much longer than we've ever had, but it is not the default. And I think that's something people need to really be aware of. So it's really about how do we get our lives and our health set up for success? How do we get our homes set up to support us long-term? And that's really been my contribution to the book, but really those are only two of the pieces, right? It's a holistic view of how do you put that puzzle together and write your own journey that's intentional. It supports the purpose that you wanted to build your life around and your future around, and what legacy you want to leave behind. And it's really putting those pieces together in the way that you want to. And this is exactly the tool to do it. So I'm just so excited that I got to contribute, and I'm really excited to hear your feedback. And over to Reid.
Thank you, Scott. I'm Reid Stone, and I work primarily in the financial services area of helping clients of financial advisory firms start to learn more about this. And I think for me, the reason that the book is important for the financial services industry and their clients is First of all, it provides awareness and education. It introduces clients to a topic that I know from experience that clients have not given much thought to. And if they have, they've given it very little thought. And it's a topic, to me, that really goes, it's much broader and much deeper than what a lot of people realize. So awareness and education people will get from the book. The book provides a great framework. It helps clients walk through many of these topics. A number of the authors give their own personal perspectives in the book, which I think is important. The book includes a number of thought-provoking questions. And I think financial advisors and others in the financial services space can use a lot of those questions to initiate conversations with their clients. Again, conversations that clients aren't used to having with their financial advisors. There's a complimentary worksheet that can be downloaded along with the book, and the worksheet helps people walk through. When they're reading the book, it gives you a place to jot down some of the ideas and some of the things that are talked about in the book. There's a fantastic list of resources. All of the authors here contributed resources in the appendix of the book. So if people want to read this book and then go deeper on particular topics, there's a whole list of other books in the back. There's websites, there's podcasts, there's all kinds of additional resources people can access. I think Mike's story is really powerful. And when Mike and I met a couple of years ago, I had read Retirement, Heaven or Hell. Mike and I have the same outlook on the way that retirement should be approached. And I think what's really unique about Mike's story is it resonates with a lot of clients. So financial advisors and others in the financial services space who are working with clients, you have clients who have the same thoughts and feelings that Mike went through when he had to dig himself out of retirement hell. So it's just a fantastic book. And I want to read just one quote from a recent Edward Jones Age Wave study to kind of summarize. They interviewed about 11,000 people for a study, both pre and post retirees. And there's a couple of quotes that I think really hit home on why this information is important. And they quote in their study that 77% of the respondents wish there were more resources available to help them plan for an ideal retirement beyond just their finances. And like Simon said, the financial services industry is very focused on the money, but there has been little conversation about the non-financial side. So we're trying to bring, again, to tie this back into awareness and education, that awareness and education. So that study ends up concluding that many Americans are vastly unprepared for retirement that is both purposeful and financially secure. They told us, however, that they know they need help and they're seeking more comprehensive retirement planning. So I think they summed it up in their study. There's been a number of other research studies coming from the industry that come to those same conclusions. So it's an important book for everybody. Susan, over to you. Share your thoughts.
Thanks so much, Reid. You very well articulated the fact that, you know, so many people are focused on the financial aspects, and there's so little time and energy really focused on what do you plan on doing in this later life. And as Scott had mentioned, with longevity, we've all been given extra years, and these are important years. As many of you probably watching this are well aware, as we start to get older, you start to realize, you know, your life is not endless. And what do you really want to spend your time doing with this time that you have? And there was a study done a while back, and I believe it takes approximately 2 years for people who enter into retirement to actually figure out what they want to do. And so what I really love about this book is the fact that it helps you and it takes you through the process of thinking about what do you really want to spend your time on, rather than, you know, kind of floundering around and trying to figure it out. And that's really what this is. It's a roadmap. And all of these great contributors have offered their subject matter expertise in particular areas. I specifically wrote a chapter about retirement realities for women because there are some gender differences. And, you know, it's such a great resource. And the fact that we're making it available free at longevitylifestylebydesign.com, and we'll make sure that that's also in this video as well, to make sure that you go and get your copy and download it for free. And just a little bit of history. I've been in this area now for coming on close to 10 years, specifically about what we are going to do with our later life and how do we really want to live it? And I met Mike, I think we're about 7 or 8 years ago, right, Mike? And Mike and I actually collaborated on Retirement Heaven and Hell. And when he mentioned that this book was coming up, I couldn't do nothing but jump in, because the other book was great and this one is great. And so I strongly suggest everybody take a good look at it, and ideally do it sooner rather than later, because there's nothing better than actually heading into retirement, knowing sort of what your compass is saying and where you're actually going to go. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Mike Drak, the primary author and the gentleman who spurred all of us on to participate, for him to close out this segment. Mike?
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. I can't stop laughing. I'm so happy today. You have no idea. It's been a year and a half since we started working on the book, and I was so lucky to have these 5 wonderful people, experts in the retirement field, graciously agreed to work with me, getting paid nothing to do this, with the end goal of helping as many people as we can transition to a successful retirement. That was a big goal of mine. When I retired, I struggled. I ended up in retirement hell because there was no one out there to guide me. There was no book out there that said what you actually do in retirement or how you deal with all these non-financial challenges coming your way. They all dealt with the financial aspect. And that frustrated me, but we've corrected it. We came out with this great book. I think it's the best book I've ever worked on. I'm so happy about it. And I know we're going to help a lot of people. So please download your free copy, tell your friends, even better, tell your banking advisor that it's available so they can learn from it too. But please enjoy it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mike. And thanks to everybody here. It's been an absolute delight working with all of you. I have learned so much through this process, and it's wonderful that we can take our shared knowledge and now also share it out. And as we mentioned, it's for free. So go download your copy today at www.longevityLifestylebydesign.com. So that's it for us today. Thanks so much for joining us. And we hope this helps you live your best booming encore. Bye for now.